Welcome to GC Weekly, the official podcast of the Georgia College Podcasting Club. On each episode, you'll be informed on what's happening on campus, from in the classroom to student organizations to Greek life, athletics, and more. I'm your host, MG Sinkle. On today's episode, Maisey Norton will be in the studio to discuss her experience as a member of GCSU's business fraternity, Delta Sigma Pi. Plus, Brooke Burson will join us to report the latest on Bobcat athletics, and Greer Harper will share what is happening in Greek life and other student organizations on campus. Joining me right now is Maisey Norton. To start off, can you share the story of how you got involved with DSP and what made you want to join in the first place?
Well, thank you all, first of all, for having me here this morning. I just want to say that. But in regards to the question, I got into DSP because I knew some friends that had talked about it, and a friend had ended up asking me to go on one of their date nights back in the day. And I was like, well, what's that? Like, is that a fraternity? Like, is that a sorority? And he was like, well, no, it's like Delta Sigma Pi, like we're a business fraternity, so it's guys and girls, because I was confused on that. So I was like, so there's girls there too? And he was like, yeah. So I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds fun. So I went, and one thing led to another. I got really invested in the people in just that one night a couple years ago. And this is actually pretty funny, but I ended up meeting the webmaster at the time, Hallie, forgot her last name, Hallie, but she was one of the first girls I met that night, and she was like, oh my God, you love social media, like you seem pretty fun, like I'm leaving soon, if you're interested, like why don't you take over my role? So that's how I got into it.
Yeah, that's awesome. It sounds like it was definitely a perfect fit for you.
Meant to be, for sure.
Yes. So now that you've been involved for a while, as you said earlier that you were a senior, so what's been your favorite event or activity in DSP so far, and what made it stand out to you?
My favorite event in DSP so far, I would probably have to say our Pop Tab event that we have every year. It's for fundraising and the Pop Tabs that we collect while we play games and that everyone keeps throughout the year to bring to this event. We use those to give to the Ronald McDonald House, which is our charity. So that's always really fun, and it's a lot of time with friends and just getting to know newer brothers, like our new recruits that we have by that time of the year. I mean, in fact, we just had it 2 weeks ago. So it was just a great time. We had people grilling burgers. We have a lot of community service and that's not specifically that, but it's just we're doing something for our community. And so it's just a really good way to meet people and to get closer to new friends in college, while also doing something good for the world.
Yeah, I feel like there's no better activity than having social time with your friends and being able to do something positive for the community.
Yeah, mean something good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So how do you think that being in a business fraternity like DSP has shaped your college experience, and how has it influenced your career aspirations?
So for the first part of that, I was not involved in anything up to late sophomore year before I got involved with DSP. And I will say that, the amount of friends that I have now versus the amount of friends that I had before, there's a big difference. And it does take stepping out of your comfort zone, because I never felt like there was anything for me to be involved in. I was new to marketing. So I think that things just happened for a reason, and that it shaped my college experiences. I have gotten job opportunities through them. I've had interview opportunities through DSP. It's constantly allowing us to speak in chapter, to have a voice, and it's almost like a political aspect where you're able to, have a say if you're on exec board, you're running for positions. There's political factors in any type of fraternity. So I thought that was pretty cool. It gave me a lot more confidence, I'll say. Having to speak when I ran for my webmaster positions each semester, I used to be scared of speaking. So it shaped me as a person, and I'm confident enough to stand in front of a room and say, hey, this is what I want and this is what I want to talk about. It's influenced my career aspirations by being around like-minded people. I mean, everyone in DSP is business oriented, and I didn't realize how much I loved being a businesswoman and wearing my fun suit and the power shoes. It just, you get involved with the whole deal. And it's, like I said, the confidence booster has made me want to enter the business world even more and kind of make my own impression somewhere after college. And before I joined, I just would have kind of been still low and, not really knowing what I wanted to do. But my friends are encouraging. They help me figure out what route might be best for me. So it's just a lot of bonding and connection, and that's what everyone needs. If you're going to be in any marketing field, business field, sales, you need that connection being built up in these 4 years, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To just grow yourself, to be out of college, and to be able to like handle things the way you need to handle them.
Yeah. Sounds like it was definitely meant to be for you in so many ways.
So meant to be.
Great. So along with that, I'm sure that it can be challenging to balance sometimes. So how do you manage your time between DSP, academics, and your personal life?
That's a really good question. And I've even asked myself that question before. So when I joined, I had a little less of things going on. So it happened at a good time period for me to get some adjustments later. But I was working a job. I was in DSP and I was in school full time, among other responsibilities. And up to now, it's just gotten even busier. But I will say that it's never been busy enough that I didn't feel like it was one of the best decisions that I made in college, because being an adult and growing up and like leaving college is about time management. Like, you're always going to have responsibilities, whether you're a college student with a dog and a job and school and a fraternity. You're going to be grown and you're going to have a family and you're going to have the same responsibilities, just on a way higher level. So in my mind, it is busy, and like it's been hard to keep everything, especially being on exec board. That's a challenge. Like, I have to show up every week. Like, it is my job to show up, and when I don't show up, like, people don't know what's going on, and that's completely on me. So time management, yeah, that's just the whole summary. Is like it's taught me how to move forward with having lots of things on my plate. And that's also just helping me as a person, if you just want to add that right on top.
Yeah, I'm so glad you could find that balance. And I definitely agree with what you said, that like these commitments that we have to balance around right now is like exactly what we're going to have to do out of college.
Forever.
Yeah,
it's actually never going to end.
Yes. So as we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share about your experience in DSP, or any advice you'd give to a potential member who may be interested?
So let's think. I love getting new members. I love them. I just want to eat them up. But whenever I talk to new members, because there will still be people that don't really know about DSP, and that's been one of our goals. Is like, I didn't know about it my freshman year, for example. And I think that we have a lot of marketing, that we're working on now that's helping for that, especially with this next semester, and it's helped now. But my advice would be for new potential members to just step out there and try it. You don't have to commit to anything. You don't have to commit to any part of anything on campus, actually. But we're a great group, and we're all very genuine people. I feel like a lot of groups can feel cliquey and just things like that. And I will say for DSP, that was never a concern of mine when I first met the group. It was never a concern of mine that they would treat people like that later on, because I would have said something if our board especially was like that. We're just very welcoming. And all of our new members we've had each semester can back us up on that. And you will meet so many people. There will be so many business opportunities. And it's hard finding a job after college. Like, people panic. Like, I'm panicking. But it's the fact that, like, these friends that you build are lifelong. Like, this fraternity is a brotherhood. Like, we're brothers, girl and boy. So you will have all of these people with you to back you up in the years past right after college. And, like, why not? Like, they're going to be going so many big places. I can tell you half these people are probably going to be making $1 million in 5 years. Like, I love them, and I just know where they're going. So, I don't know. That's just go for it. Just try it. If you hate it, you don't have to be in it. But I've never heard anyone hating it. They end up liking it.
Yeah,
so
I love that. That's great advice, and it sounds like DSP is a really special place for everyone. So, Maisey, thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us today. It has been great to hear how much it has shaped your journey, and best of luck with everything that you and DSP continue to do.
Thank you so much.
Now, with the latest happenings in Bobcat Athletics is Brooke Burson.
Hey Bobcats, my name's Brooke Burson with the GC Weekly Podcast, and I'm here to give you the latest in Georgia College athletics. Zaire Green has been named Zaxby's Player of the Week for the week ending November 17th. The senior guard from Lithonia, Georgia, averaged 26.5 points and 4.0 rebounds in 2 games. In a home opener against Auburn University at Montgomery, Green scored 28 points and grabbed 6 rebounds, including a 7 of 11 shooting from three-point range. In a 91-83 road win at Converse University, he added 25 points and 4 assists. For the week, Green shot 48.6 from the field, 47.6 from beyond the arc, and 69.2 from the free throw line, totaling 8 rebounds and 2 steals. Green and Ian Davis combined for 47 points to lead Georgia College to a 91-83 victory over Converse University. The Bobcats trailed by 12 but mounted an 18-3 run to take control. Green finished with 25 points and Davis added 22 points. Despite a late challenge from Converse, GCSU sealed the game with strong free throw shooting, finishing 7 of 8 in the final minute. The Bobcats also outer-bounded Converse 43-35, with Tony Carpio grabbing 8 boards. In women's basketball, Evie DiPetro scored 14 points to lead Georgia College to a dominant 79-52 victory over Newberry College. The Bobcats jumped to a 17-3 lead after the first quarter and never looked back, winning as much as 27 points. GCSU shared the ball effectively, recording 21 assists on 27 baskets. Jada Warren led the team with 15 rebounds, including 8 offensive boards. Georgia College's women's soccer team fell 2-0 to number 2 Columbus State in the Peach Belt Conference Tournament semifinals. The Bobcats, 9-7-3, had their 5-match winning streak snapped. CSU's Michelle Mendina scored in the first half, and Faith Nodler added a second-half goal. GCSU was outshot 17-4, with goalkeeper Maddie Drake making 8 saves. Augusta University swept Georgia College 25-11, 25-13, and 25-14 in a non-conference volleyball match. The Bobcats, 8-20, were led by Alani Bernice with 17 digs, while Sadie Parkinson contributed 9 digs and 5 assists. Despite strong individual efforts, GCSU struggled to overcome the Jaguars' powerful offense. Both teams are set to compete in the Peach Belt Conference Tournament. Again, I'm Brooke Burson, and I'll see y'all next week for the latest in Georgia College athletics.
Greer Harper joins us now with a look at what GCSU's student and Greek life organizations across campus are doing.
Hey Bobcats! Greek life and student organization events are slowing down at this point in the semester, so I have nothing really to report on there, but I am happy to be joined today by Dr. Profitt of the English department here at Georgia College for another installment of Professor Profiles. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for asking me to join you.
Of course. So you're relatively new to Georgia College, right? How are you finding it so far?
Georgia College is pretty great. I love the small class sizes. I love how engaged students really are with the material. Like, I don't have to badger people to answer questions, which is rare. That's not something I ever had in my career before. If you are in any of my classes, you know that living in Milledgeville is a new experience for me. Not only am I from the north where it's already cold by now, but I'm also used to living in big cities and not seeing deer in my parking lot every morning. So.
Wow, yeah, I guess that would be something to get used to for sure.
Oh yeah, like I left the house the other day and I had a bag of food and it rustled and the deer looked at it like oh,
what's in there?
This is not something I'm used to. Children, yes. Deer, no.
Right, right. Yeah, I kind of like what you said about small class sizes. That's kind of what drew me to Georgia College in the first place. So yeah, I definitely see that for sure. So what is your main focus within the English department? Like, what kind of classes do you teach?
So I'm the film studies expert in the English department. Other people teach film studies courses, and they teach wonderful film studies courses. I just teach most of them. I teach right now, like, kind of the mandatory requirements for our film studies concentrators, like evolution of film and film studies, which is a more theoretical course. I teach a GC1Y on gender and popular American cinema. And in the spring, I teach special topics courses for the first time.
Very cool.
Yes.
What got you into loving films in the first place? Was it just like a activity you love to do, or is there a certain film maybe?
Yeah, so I grew up in a family where art was really prioritized. We read books all the time. My mom is an English teacher. Her sister is an English teacher. My sister is an English teacher. I just happened to be the only one who was like, I'm going to go to college and do it. I'm going to teach in college. And we watched films all the time, specifically older stuff, like a lot of old MGM musicals, like old noir from the 40s. And you know, it's just something that I was always exposed to. So I just kept getting more and more into it. I was an English lit major in college. And around the time I was in the middle of my master's degree in English lit, I realized I was not writing about books anymore. And maybe I shouldn't be ashamed not to be writing about books. So Here we are.
Fun. I love that. So it's kind of always just been something that you've been into.
Absolutely, yeah. We went to the movies every week during my childhood. My parents were like, we take you every single week.
Nice.
Even if it's at the crappy dollar show, we're going.
We're going. That's so fun. Do you have any like movie theater snacks that you loved?
I mean, real basic popcorn.
Yeah,
and,
me too.
Yeah, popcorn is the best. Like, there are some candies that you might, like snow caps in a movie theater. Snow caps not in a movie theater are whatever, but snow caps during a movie, that's where they taste good. And I'm like a real frozen Coke person.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I hate it when you go to a movie theater and it's like, we have cherry and we have blue, which is not a flavor. It's my name. And I'm like, well, where's the Coke? And they don't have